Welcome to Zenterno Radio, where we drop truth gems all along the way. This is going to be episode 9, and we are going to talk about the title to, I guess, today is the time of testing. The time of testing. So it is recorded in St. Peter that a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. So we have to understand that it's been 2 days since the Lord walked on the planet the first time, and he will come back. And again, from creation, 4 days pass, the Lord came, then 2 days has now passed as well. That means it's 6,000 years. Here's the end. The last time of testing, by the way, in the generation that we're looking at right now was World War II, 70 to 80 years ago. That was the last test for humanity as a whole. From Stalin's regime, the Russians, to Hitler, etc., the Nazis, and all these things have taken place. So in this modern generation, the year so-called 2021, the majority of people who are living on the planet, not all, because some are still here that have went through World War II, they're still alive. But the majority of humanity has not been tested properly, has not actually been through the fire. And so let's go to Zechariah, the end of chapter 13 and verses 8. We're going to read through this, and we're going to read through 14. So let's go. And it shall be throughout all the land, declares Yahweh, that 2/3 therein are cut off and die, and 1/3 is left therein. Speaking of on the earth, and I shall bring the third into fire, and refine them as silver is refined, and try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I shall answer them. I shall say, this is my people, while they say, Yahweh is my Elohim. 14, chapter 14, Zechariah. See, a day shall come for Yahweh, and your spoil shall be divided in your midst, and I shall gather all the Gentiles to battle against Jerusalem, and the city shall be taken, the houses plundered, and the women ravished. Half of the city shall go into exile, but the remnant of the people shall not be cut off from the city. And Yahweh shall go forth, and he shall fight against those Gentiles, as he fights in the day of battle. So speaking of the day of the Lord, it has to be. And in that day his feet shall stand upon the Mount of Olives, which faces Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall be split in two from east to west, a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall move toward the north, and half of it toward the south. And you shall flee to the valley of my mountain, for the valley of the mountains reaches to Atzal, and you shall flee as you fled in the earthquake in the days of Uzziah, sovereign of Yehuda. And Yahweh my Elohim shall come, all the Kodeshim with you. And in that day it shall be, there is no light, it is dark. And it shall be one day which is known to Yahweh, neither day nor night, but at evening time there shall be light. And in that day it shall be that living waters flow from Jerusalem, half of them toward the eastern sea, and half of them toward the western sea, in summer as well as in winter. And Yahweh shall be sovereign over the earth, all the earth. In that day there shall be one Yahweh, and his name one. All the land shall be changed into a desert plain from Geba to Rimmon, south of Jerusalem, and she shall be raised up and inhabited in her place from Benjamin's gate to the place of the first gate and the corner gate, and from the tower of Hananeel to the wine presses of the sovereign. And they shall dwell in her, and there shall be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this is the plague with which Yahweh plagues all the people who fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall decay while they stand on their feet, and their eyes decay in their sockets, and their tongues decay in their mouths. And it shall be in that day that a great confusion from Yahweh is among them, and every one of them shall seize the hand of his neighbor, and his hand rise up against his neighbor's hand. And Yehuda shall fight at Jerusalem as well, and the wealth of all the Gentiles round about shall be gathered together. gold and silver and garments in great quantities. So also is the plague on the horse and the mule, and on the camel and the donkey, and on the cattle that are in those camps as this plague. And it shall be that all who are left from all the Gentiles which came up against Jerusalem shall go up from year to year to bow themselves to the sovereign Yahuwah of hosts, and to celebrate the festival of Sukkot. And it shall be that if any one of the clans of the earth does not come up to Jerusalem to bow himself to the sovereign of Yahuwah of hosts, on them there is to be no rain. And if a clan of Mitzrayim, Egypt, does not come up and enter in, then there is none. On them is the plague with which Yahuwah plagues the Gentiles who do not come up to celebrate the festival of Sukkot. This is the punishment of Egypt, and the punishment of all the Gentiles that do not come up to observe the festival of Sukkot. In that day, Kodesh to Yahuwah shall be engraved on the bells of the horses, on the pots in the house of Yahuwah shall be like the bowls before the altar. And every pot in Jerusalem and Judah shall be Kodesh to Yahuwah of hosts. And all those who slaughter shall come and take them and cook in them. And there shall be no longer a merchant in the house of Yahuwah of hosts in that day. So that's basically the end. That's the end of Prophet Zechariah, the book of Zechariah. And the reason I'm bringing that out is because we are living in this, again, I was saying earlier in the beginning of this podcast here, that this is the time of testing that has come upon the whole world. Let us go to Genesis 15 and remind everybody what is happening. So we're going to go to Genesis 15, better sheet 15, and we'll start at 13. So the sleep comes upon Abraham, and it says, and he said to Abraham, know for certain that your seed are to be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and they shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. But the nation whom they serve I am going to judge, and afterward let them come out with great possessions. So we know that the Israelites, the majority, they're scattered the whole planet. That's why the whole planet is in judgment right now. But the majority of it is America. That's why America's judgment is going to be the worst. And that's also why you can see America's falling at the seams. And I do have to say that America is not going to bounce back. I hear a lot of, these conservative individuals that are, and I salute you because you believe in the Most High and stuff, but you're not going to build America again. America was built on blood, and it will end in blood. I mean, that's just how things go. The beginning is the end. We have to understand that. You reap what you sow. It's impossible for America that was built on bloodshed, right? Dealing with the natives and slavery, that's how that nation started, that's how it has to end. It has to end in the same manner. And there's no way around that. It's not going to just be like, oh, it's a beautiful kingdom and America is amazing now. We conquered the evil. Here we stand. No, that's the Most High's place alone. That's the prophet Daniel, and the mountain that the rock that he throws onto the earth and creates a huge mountain. That's his place and his right. It's only for Yah, only for the king. That's not America's right to say that they're the best and they're going to be the champions. China, Russia, nobody's right has the right to do that. That is the king's right, the sovereign Yahuwah alone. So, America shall be judged. 400 years are up. This is, again, the turmoil we see. Many people cannot handle the pressure that's happening, but the pressure is necessary because this is written. This was prophesied, and we're living right through it. And see, everybody who's a Kodeshim is totally at peace right now because we are just following Yah, and everything is right on the money and on the script. And it's a beautiful sight to see and a feeling to feel when you know that the Father is with you. Who could be against you if Yah is for you? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. The life giver himself, who could be against you? Nobody. Absolutely, not even Satan. So we praise Yah, and that's what this is about. This is about edifying, teaching, renewing the people with truth. That right now, and here's the beautiful thing that I actually have to share about this because of the time of testing. Right now, it's like being in school. We used to get report cards, right? So how do you get a good grade on your report card? It's because you performed well and you did extremely. If you wanted to get the A+, you had to do very extremely well. Now, if you want an A+, if you want the best grade from the creator, okay, this is the time of testing, and this is the time that he is looking for us. He's looking for us to stand up in faith. He's looking for us to have faith and works, to show the truth of him, his majesty, what he's doing, following what we're supposed to be doing, which is loving ourselves, loving our neighbors, praising the Father, speaking the truth, standing up for righteousness. So I salute everybody right now who's against the whole vaccination, because everybody who is with Yah understands it's the devil doing that, and we don't deal with the devil. Okay, people are actually literally dying because of they're taking this stuff, and if they haven't, they may probably well, because it's altering the Creator's code in your body. That's a huge sin. It's absolutely disgusting to alter your DNA that the Most High gave you from birth. He gave you a DNA, he gave you a code, and now you want to alter it. And then it's from a virus that supposedly, it's like the same as influenza. You guys are so scared to get COVID-19, coronavirus, influenza, coronavirus. It's all the same thing. You're scared of a flu? I've never been scared of the flu. In 2018, I had the flu. I got influenza. Went outside, I caught a quick cold on my throat, all this stuff, and then I had the chills and everything, throw up, etc. But I got through it. It was the same with this one. People are so scared because it's the program, and the program runs deep, because if all they know is the program, that's it. You got them locked. They're sheep, and they're just completely locked into that matrix. So let's go to Isaiah, the prophet Yeshayahu, and read chapter 13, and we will start. Okay, let's start at 9, I guess. So see, the day of Yahweh is coming, fierce with wrath and heat of displeasure, to lay the earth waste, to destroy its sinners from it. For the stars of the Shamayim and their constellations do not give off their light. The sun shall be dark as at its rising, and the moon not send out its light. And I shall punish the world for its evil, and the wicked for their wickedness, and shall put an end to the arrogance of the proud, and lay low the pride. I like that word, right? You hear that word a lot of these days. Lay low the pride of the ruthless. And I shall make mortal man scarcer than fine gold, and mankind than gold of Ophir. So I shall make the Shamayim tremble, and the earth shall shake from her place in the wrath of Yahuwah of hosts, in the day of the heat of his displeasure. We can continue, I guess, a little bit here. Let's just do 14. And it shall be as the hunted gazelle, and as the sheep that no man takes up. Every man turns to his own people, and everyone flees to his own land. Most High, praise Yah. Praise, hallelujah. Praise the Most High, because, again, this is what's coming. This is what's coming. It's one, and then what's the beautiful thing, even the day of the Lord is a literal 24-hour period, by the way. So it's not a whole period of 1,000 years, because a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. But when it's specifically speaking of his judgment, this is why the Father in heaven is beautiful, because even when he's angry, he's going to do it in one day. It's going to be literally one day, but that's judgment day, right? That's the day where the reckoning, everything happens. And then the resurrection, etc., and all these things will take place. So you have to praise Yah, because he's the King of kings and the Lord of lords. Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. I don't care what you believe right now, because even you, the devil, the atheist, you will be risen, but or maybe not, I'm not even sure, but I know that, as it says, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. So even the one who hates him has to confess. Ain't that deep? One day, that day that's coming, they're going to be bowing on the knee and saying, yes, he's the one, he's the one. Praise him, praise Yah. It's a beautiful thing, man. So this is a call for the good report card. Do you have the courage? And this should be exciting, because now you know that we're at past the 6,000 year mark. The Father shall return very soon. The 400 years is up. He shall judge that nation. It's all happening as we speak. You see America completely crumbling. It's actually communist and socialist, the social party. They don't stand for any truth. Everything is flipped. Good is evil and evil is good. Saint Timothy, the book of Timothy. Okay? Everything is flipped. That's why it's okay to go marry. It's probably okay to go marry your sister, the incestuous stuff. You go marry a tree, a dog, it don't matter. Everything's accepted right now. Right? Everything that's good. Oh, I'm a guy. No, you're not. You're a woman. You're a woman. You're a guy. It's a flip. Everything's a flip. Everything is flipped. It's backwards. But this is what was prophesied. It has to be this way. It has to be this way so the filth has to rise to the top. So the Most High can clearly cut it. Because when he reaps, he'll reap the wheat and the tares. You understand? And then that day, which again is coming quite soon. You know, it's just, again, prophesied. It's necessary. It has to happen. How else do you purge, truly purge, by the Creator's will, the evil from the good? So he lets us all grow in this life. He lets us continue until that day when the reaping shall happen, when he shall come and take us. No, you choose a side that you want to be on. You choose if you love this world so much. You need all those likes and those people patting you on the back. People ain't shit, really. If they're not for truth and sacredness of what life is, the beauty and the majesty, true marriage, man and a woman, bringing forth a child into the world, teaching and loving that child and praising Yah, knowing the commands and walking right, not hurting and no anger in your heart, no malice. But if you're the opposite, you love the world like this, you love malice, you think everything is okay. Well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do some drugs, I'm going to do that abortion and this or that, etc., etc. You already know that you're playing with fire because you will be burnt. And there will be no hope for you. That's what the truth is. But as I said, for me, it's a beautiful thing because I get excited at this time is because it tells me it's time for me to shine. Don't get upset right now that, see, if you get cut off, I'm going to say this right now. I'm talking about life. If the Most High takes you right now, it's because you have no faith. Because truly, we have to be tested. Nobody on the planet, and I'm talking about the majority, at least 80 to 90%, because the elders who have been through like World War II, there's not many left. So there's roughly like 90% of the people that have lived on the planet have never really been through a hard time. And I'm talking about a real hard time. That's why this is happening right now. That's why COVID. That's why everything. All this judgment. And when you understand that this is the time of testing, I'm speaking to the church. It's not about the world. The church. You need to know that this is your time and your calling for you to step up to the plate, perform very well. Very well. Remember I'm going to tell you this is the last parable before I go here. Remember the parable of the talents. The wicked servant, what did he do when he gave the talent? The wicked servant took the talent and he dug a hole and he put it in the hole and he didn't do anything with it. The good servants took the talent. He gave it to another servant. He took a talent. He went and did some business. He put in some work. He multiplied it by 10. Whatever he did, he multiplied, but he brought it back to Yah. Yah said, good, my son. Good, my daughter. Good servant. Another person, he gave it, multiplied by 100, came back, good, my servant, good, my servant. One, the evil servant dug up the talent. He said, where's your work? Come, let me see. He dug it up. He gave him the same thing that Yah gave him. He said, what did you do? You didn't do any work. You didn't do anything. I gave this to you. You didn't do anything. Do you see this? You see how powerful that is? You don't want to be that servant when the Most High asks you, what did you do? You didn't do anything. You hurt people. You hated people. You took advantage of people. You were looking out only for yourself. This is what Yah is looking for. He's looking for the one who will multiply the talent. We all have gifts and we all have a purpose. I'm doing this podcast because this is one of my gifts. I have a talent. I have a message. I have a leader spirit. He made me this way. I have to speak what I speak. This is not even about me. This is about Yah. So everybody's doing work and we have to multiply our works so that the Creator is happy. And that's why you're a co-creator in this life. You are a co-creator. You're a son and daughter of the Creator. That means your duty is to create as well. He did everything, but you also can bring forth some works, because we are finite, we are small on this planet, but he gave us what we need and what we need to multiply. And so that's either bringing peace to nature, helping the animals, loving the animals, loving people, helping yourself, growing, bringing forth children, maybe having children. All of this is a benefit and a blessing, or favor, if you will, that the Father is giving you. And we have to seize those moments. So I'm going to end this. We're just going to say a prayer quickly here. I'm going to say to our Father, and we're going to end this. This is more of a deep topic, and it's a beautiful topic. And so let's pray. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, for thine is the power, the kingdom, and the glory forever and ever. Salem and shalom. Peace to the saints, to the Kodashim. And I'll catch you guys on another episode sometime soon on Zenterno Radio. It's September 15th, and we're doing what we got to do. Remember, rebuke the devil, he shall flee from you. Rebuke the world. Follow, stay the path. What can you do in your life? What talent were you given, and what can you do to activate it and make it better? Multiply it. Bring forth more gift. If you're good at painting, draw a lot just paint a lot. Paint a lot and express the majesty of your life and everything, and touch people, right? If you're good at numbers, help people with their finances. If you're good at whatever your talent is, man, even if it's sports, use your ability and show off the gift that the Most High has given you. That's what we have to do. So praise Yah. Salem and shalom.